He's going well.
Hello and welcome to Elana Maju Emmanuel Network. Few people in this world are known to walk their talk. And we're privileged, whatever you are, to share their ideals, their conviction that one of us, a renowned leader who has changed the demographics of Kenyan politics, the Honorable Mother Karua, the Iron Lady of Kenyan politics. And I'm here with my panelists here from Atlanta, Georgia, Mercy Moshono and David Ogego. These are sharp minds. They are going to interrogate and even hear from the Honorable, who is here in ATL. There's no other place like ATL.
No place like ATL.
Georgia in my mind.
Always.
It's a Sunday.
Yes.
How does it feel to be in the presence of this great lady?
It is.
Who is mother to you, Mercy?
It is an honor and a
Yes.
privilege to be in the presence of the Iron Lady herself, Honorable Mother Karua, and we are excited to have these few moments with you to talk about all things Kenya, and more important, to delve a little bit deeper into your memoirs, Against the Tide. I'll turn things over.
But before you turn, what did you know about mother?
Of course, I knew Mother.
Yeah.
She has been, as somebody who has lived
Right.
in the last 4 decades, actually.
Right.
Mother has been a voice for justice.
Right.
She's an attorney. She's a human rights activist.
Right.
But more importantly, she is somebody who believes passionately about our great nation, Kenya.
Wow.
We have a lot of leaders who give us lip service. I
Yes.
think we can all agree.
Yes.
But I have to say, my experience and what I have followed of Honorable Karua is that she has been a woman that has not just talked, she has walked the talk. So as I
How
said,
does it feel as a woman?
as a
to
woman,
talk about a woman.
it is truly an honor and a privilege. And I think, let me use this opportunity to
Yes.
say that we see you. I know sometimes when you're in the trenches, it feels like you're alone. As a woman, as you said,
Yes.
I see you. And we appreciate the work you have done and the work you continue to do. And we are going to do now, continue to lock arms and continue to do the work together. As the diaspora, we feel the time has come.
You're fired up.
We are no longer going to sit in the back.
No.
We're going to lock arms with you and other leaders who are committed to building our great nation, to bring Kenya to the glory it deserves.
My, David. She's stolen the thunder. What
I
do
know.
what do you know?
Yes.
David is one guy. I see in politics. He's very current. And he's one of those men we admire here in ATL. David, thank you for all that you do. Who is Mother Karua for you?
Oh gosh! First of all, let me say thank you so much for the opportunity again to be in the presence in this studio, but more especially the presence of this lady. You know, she's a force to reckon with.
Right.
Right, and I am so proud. As a matter of fact, we were out together in Washington yesterday.
Yes.
I saw her there.
Yes.
Because we lost our great lawyer,
Yes,
Feroz Neurology. So we had a service yesterday. We hang out there yesterday to pay our respects. And Honorable Karua, me and her go way back, actually. In 2019, for those of you that might not know, I lead an organization called the Association of Kenyan Diaspora Organizations. And our work here is to really bring the diaspora together to try and speak with one voice.
Right.
In that realm, we invite, conduct conferences. And in 2019, we were fortunate enough, we invited Honorable Karua, and she was gracious enough to come and join us. So our bond has grown over the years.
Right.
And then lastly, I just want to say how great she is. She's an inspiration. She's a force to reckon with. for those of us who have followed her over the years,
Right.
and especially these last elections, we all have our political opinions. And frankly, I did not want to deal with any of the candidates.
Right.
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 So I was considering who is the lesser evil between the two formations, as they call them. And the only reason why I voted for Baba, if you're listening, is because of this lady, the Iron Lady.
Yes.
She was my choice.
Right.
It's the only reason why I said I'm going to pull the lever for mother. You know, with one eye open, the mother eye. So I'm just honored that we're sharing this.
Is there anything she ever did in her political life you are like, oh my goodness, you're feeling for her, right?
Yes, as we all know. I mean, who can forget? But she's been very astute. In other words, her positions, to me, from our observations,
right.
She's a straight shooter.
Yep.
She
doesn't go beating the
you
bush.
can't bend her.
No.
But if we remember in 2007, after the I guess the protracted political outcome of the elections that were announced, that were disputed, you know, she was very astute. She stood her ground on what it should be, right? And she was not going to put up with the other side, one side or the other.
Yes.
And she said the rule of law must be followed, you know. And I think she overshadowed. No, I don't think she intended to overshadow men.
Yes.
But when she stood there and gave a position as what the rule of law should be, I mean, I was happy. I mean, I felt like there's somebody that would stand to the pressures of what is going on, and she withstood it all. And she spoke against the violence. Right.
Yep.
And she spoke about bringing justice to people. And I hope, you know, that topic is not closed, at least in my mind.
Yes.
That topic is not closed. And if there's going to be anybody that can bring a fair and just resolution to what happened, right, so we can have closure, Martha Karua, Honorable Karua would be one of them.
Wow, wonderful! What a reflection, and I'm glad that you guys have some connection, passion, what she does. What I'm gonna do is to welcome the Honorable, and the minute she says hi to the audience, I'm going to turn back to you so that you can engage her. If you have any question about her passion, her dream, we'll do that. Because we're going to launch this book.
Yes.
People are waiting. And if you are there, we are launching this book in the next 20 minutes. It's about going against the tide. And she'll talk about this book. I've read some part of it. And one of the things I learned about her auntie, she was so fond of an auntie or somebody. And she loved this auntie, and the only way she could be kept away is to be told. I think there's a leopard that liked little girls. That was the only thing that she could. And I was like, that's the only thing that scared her in her lifetime. But I'll let her say hi, and immediately do that, Honorable Mother. It's just an honor. We just had a worship with her this morning at Kenyan American Community Church, and we're going back. We are having health fair. And we will have the launch of the book, and she'll be talking to Elijah Crown. But I will let her speak, and maybe you can welcome to speak, and then you take up some questions.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, Honorable.
Good afternoon, listeners from ATL. I'm happy to be in Atlanta, Georgia, and thank you, Pastor Gigi. Thank you, Marcy. Thank you, David, for the very heartwarming welcome and good words you have said. I'm humbled. And I'm happy to interact with the people of Georgia. And I'm also very, very happy to see that there are Kenyans out here who still connect with the motherland and are proud to be Kenyans.
Amen.
Yeah.
Tell her the passion the diaspora have, and maybe start with you any question you may have, and then to David, and she's all yours.
Absolutely. So yes, indeed, we're very passionate about our country, Kenya. I'll speak for myself. I have lived outside Kenya for more than 30 years.
Wow.
But I have made every effort. I have never gone more than 2 years without going back to Kenya. But now more than ever, as I said, we are very invested in what is going on in Kenya. And we're leaning on leaders like yourself who have shown over the years You stay the course, you're steadfast, and more importantly, you love that country and you want the best for the country. My first question for you, Honorable Mother, is there's a lot that has been said. Why now? Why did you decide to put this on paper? Because we know there is a lot, you've been around for a very long time. Why now?
Now, this book ought to have come out a long time ago. It took me 9 years.
Oh.
The original manuscript was finished, and I could not settle on a publishing house. Eventually, I had to leave the former publishing houses, and I looked for somebody who could help us to get it printed. So it's like self-publishing. I'm outside of the mainstream publishing houses. Then, number 2, and most importantly, I got a shadow writer. The person who started the project was a lady from the US who'd written for another lady I know in the US. But because she could not connect with the local scenes, the manuscript was almost alien to me, although it's the things I had related. So I got her assistant, who was Kenyan, to carry on the project. I still could not hear my voice. So I had to eventually sit down and write the book chapter by chapter, go through it and customize it to be my book. And before I did that, there was a final person who helped to shape it, and it now became possible for me to sit down and go through it chapter by chapter. So publishing issues and issues of my voice. So I realized that I actually ought to have sat down and done that and then given editors, and then the editing process. Wonderful. And it's now my book. I've gone through it. I have done what I could have done, and I hear me in that book.
I love it. I think what I'm hearing is authenticity was important, because you didn't want this to be someone else's voice. I love it. That's wonderful. Is there anything that you learned through the process that you didn't know from the beginning, and now at the end of it, what was that like for you?
I learned that you actually can write if you consider writing as storytelling. Because as Africans, we've come through the oral tradition. My grandmother, Moajogu, told me stories. All my aunties, everybody, even my father, my mother, they all told us stories. So when the mood to write came, and surprise, surprise, I got that inspiration during the Azimio demonstrations of 2003. I would leave the demonstrations, and for some reason, I would be able to sit down and write into the night. That's when I started in earnest to pour myself into the book project. Finished, gave to the editors, and last year we were able finally to publish. And I want to tell the readers that it is not possible to put one's life journey in a book. So you try to take the highlights. I did my best to capture the essence. By reading the book, I'm sharing my life journey, my triumphs, my falls, in the hope that it will inspire. There may be something that can inspire, and there will be pitfalls you may be able to avoid after reading my book. A lot of people were asking me about my life's journey. So putting it together means it can be read not just by Kenyans, but by many more people.
That's wonderful. David, did you have any?
Well, so I'm just glad that now this is encapsulated in writing. And one of the things that I'm hoping you would consider, because I guess with technology and the changes that are being made, I don't know, are you thinking about having an audio version of it? And then,
Yes.
Oh, beautiful.
You got it right. This book is on Amazon.
Oh, good.
And I'm going to do an audio version. And I've been asked by a great senator, young senator in Kenya, Christo Azige, who is visually challenged, she asked me whether I'll do it in Braille. I'll consider that. Yeah.
Because I think it's critical that this message gets out there, especially coming from you in any form or format that is. Traditionally, of course, a book is a book and we read it, but having it where you can listen to it or in Braille, and in some cases, I think we used to have that Amazon now. What is it?
Kindle.
Yeah, the Kindle.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, that would be very helpful to a lot of other people.
We are still in the process, and I'm getting it. There are friends who are interested in helping me to have it translated Spanish.
Oh.
Then I'll do a book tour in Latin America.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I think that is a great strategy. This book needs to be read the world over, in my personal opinion, especially for the upcoming generation. There is a lot of things that we take for granted, and in my opinion, being able to delve into your life story really tells a story of, in my opinion, resilience and staying the course. So thank you for choosing Atlanta #1 as one of your spots. We're very happy to have you.
Thank you for having me and being so warm and welcoming.
Yes.
I actually felt like I was up country at my home with my parents.
It is the Southern
Because
hospitality.
Yes,
With
that's
family.
what
We
call
had
it.
a blast last evening.
Yes.
Just sitting and chatting. Yeah.
That is
And
it.
even now.
Yes.
And just to add, for those of you, especially our young folks that are now up and coming, that might not have a sense of who this lady is and her history and her contributions to Kenya as a country, this is your opportunity. Here it is. Actually, I ordered how many? 4? You know,
Oh,
maybe
you
I'll-
did?
yes.
Well done.
You did,
Yeah,
yes.
maybe we'll do a few more. But and the point of it all is just we need this story told, especially young people, young women that are coming up. I don't know if you heard that expression about the Iron Lady, right?
Yeah.
It's here, and this is who she is. So
David, what is it on the behalf of the diaspora? Because we're going to have one question each so that we join other people there.
Yeah.
What is this diaspora agenda that you'd like the honorable to hear, if in case it is missed out there?
And thanks for that. That's a great segue for what this means to us. Honorable Karua, as you know, you've been in the trenches, and we know, those of us who have followed you, we've looked for a partner as a diaspora, somebody that would actually, advocate for our interests. We call it diaspora common welfare interests, and there are many, right? So majority of those, we started out as having a representation in government. There's this argument that you hear, especially in democracies in America, for example, there should not be taxation without representation. And those, we all know this. Kenya, even at this, as we speak now, relies heavily on diaspora remittances that we send, but we just don't see any value for what we send. We've been advocating, we've been asking, we've been demanding for diaspora interests to be included in the governance, meaning, and there's several of those, but mainly we've worked on diaspora voting, something that we've done for the last 2 decades or so. Finally, it was included in the Constitution. It was been litigated in the courts, Supreme Court. This president has happened, but in the diaspora, we still don't have that access. And we've tried several ways to do it, and we thought maybe we could go back to Parliament and have an additional legislation, but we're at a standstill now. Even ourselves in the diaspora cannot agree. We want an expansion of diaspora voting polls without having to go through that process all over again. That's one. And we're asking, we're putting together a demand that we want help to get that across to the powers that be, and we need those representation. Additionally, really quick, There are other interests now. Obviously, we cannot be just focused on diaspora voting every 5 years. It's a one-time event.
Yeah.
The diaspora welfare, meaning among our people in this community all over the place, we run into a ton of challenges at any given time. There are folks that are being arrested for whatever reason. It could be immigration. It could be any issues that come up that we would like to partner with our government. Most governments outside of America, they actually go represent their citizens in America or whatever they may be. They may be, they have contracted with lawyers, for example, that will represent their citizens in those countries. So there's a myriad of issues that we want to bring attention to. I want to sum it as diaspora Bill of Rights, right? Things that we value as a diaspora that we need help with. And I will leave it at that for now, but there's a ton of things that we want to have addressed.
And Mercy, one question, because we are going to translate to the public there, what is it that on behalf of those who may not be able to get a mic there that the Honorable need to be aware? And as far as the diaspora, I know you've been going to Kenya fighting for a space.
Yes.
Do you have any?
No, I think my friend David here has touched on some of those areas. In my personal opinion, those remittances that we're sending to Kenya, I think have made our government lazy. We're going to have to hold them accountable, because the reason why I have to send my mother money or my family money is because the system there has failed. And as a result, the government has relaxed because they know every so many months the money is coming in. We need to have a seat at the table. We need to be able, and as I mentioned, David and I have lived here, and most of us have lived here for a very long time. We have seen systems that do work. We want to be able to contribute positively to bring Kenya to where we believe it needs to be. In order to do that, we need to have systems in place. Number one, we need to be able to vote. And when we talk about the presidential vote, that is just the first step. Ideally, and if there's anything we learned through COVID, the world can still go on, even if we're not seeing each other in person. Why don't we simplify matters? And the reason why this is important, doesn't just touch on the diaspora. It touches on all the people of Kenya, wherever they are, whether they're in Kisumu, Kiambu, wherever they are. We know everybody in Kenya today has a phone. Everybody, Mama Mboga, has a phone. We need to start being open to having digital voting capabilities. People need to stop having the fear. And it is my prayer in our lifetime, we will be able to have systems in place that allow all Kenyans, regardless of where they are, to be able to utilize different measures. I don't have to leave my station to be able to vote. We are sending money every day. Mama Mboga is transacting. We can all be able to vote. But from a diaspora perspective, the basic, this is the bare minimum. And you have actually articulated that very well. This is not something we are being given. It is enshrined in the Constitution. And I know it is already there. But it is one thing to just say, yes, you can vote. But it's another step, facilitating that voting. That has not happened. We have learned there were only 10,000 individuals out of 4 million plus who voted in the last general election. As a country, we have failed. We also have an honors, and we are doing a lot of research behind the scenes. There are a lot of successful diaspora communities. Philippines, Israel, they vote wherever they are. And even our neighboring country, Rwanda, has done a great job of engaging their diaspora in the process. There is no reason why a country like Kenya, with strong minds such as yourself and so many others, the amount of time I spent in Kenya, I was blown away. People are brilliant there. We don't have a shortage of people who are ready and willing. We just need to challenge our leaders, and we are going to stay the course this time. Because as I have said, in the past, maybe we have felt we are not part of. We are declaring today. We are interested. We have children who are identify as Kenyans, even though they were born here. They love the country. So I'm looking forward to more dialogue as we transition to the other place where we have a wider audience to hear more about how we can continue to work together to make Kenya the country that we know it should be.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we have a lot of things, expectation from the Honorable when I was taught, when I went to theology, we were told, even when things are so dire, make sure you finish with good news,
Yes.
saying it is not all lost. So as we get ready, because at 2 o'clock we were supposed to be at the other side eating, and we don't want to get into people's time, give us some hope, Honorable, as a good news. Bad as things are, do we have hope for our land
Yes.
as we transit? Please.
We do have hope, and I want to agree that there is no taxation without representation.
Yes.
Diaspora is the largest foreign exchange earner for Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, 641 billion. So we are talking of towards a 700 billion remittance.
Mm-hmm.
When all the money that the national government gave to the 47 counties last year was a paltry 341. So your contribution is larger than all the money that is given to the counties in Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
The counties spend out of that only 109 billion for development, and some of it return to the treasury because they don't complete the project.
Right.
When you look at that math, you see the diaspora is a significant contributor. Like you have said, you are subsidizing a failed health system because when people cry at home, you send money. You are subsidizing education. You are subsidizing livelihoods because poverty is an issue these days in the dire economy that we are going through. And I want to agree with David as well that you do not need legislation to increase the number of polling stations. What legislation was put in place for the 3 in the US, LA, New York, and Washington? Nothing. It was just administrative measures. Take more administrative measures, increase the polling stations depending on demographics. We do not worry what measures. Put appropriate measures. It could be technology, like Mercy is saying.
Right.
Whatever measures that can be put, let the diaspora vote. Let us all engage and build our country. Let us make our systems work. And this message, I am sure, you do not mean it only for me as the leader of PLP.
Right.
It is for the entire political class.
Right.
We must all honor our diaspora who are working long hours to build Kenya by facilitating not just their voting, issuance of IDs, replacement of passports or issuance of Kenyan passports. It is possible. Why wouldn't the embassies have a program in summer where they notify, let's say, residents of Georgia that they'll be in Atlanta for 1 week beginning this and this, to issue IDs, to mingle, and then they move on to another state.
Right.
Why wait for everybody to travel all the way to DC, all the way to New York or LA, irrespective of the distances they are covering? Voting or getting Kenyan documents or services ought not to be a punishment for the diaspora. We need to step up. And I commit to stand with the diaspora on these issues.
Thank you.
Yeah.
She seems to know our issues.
Yes.
She got it.
She has
She got a
articulated-
grip.
She has articulated it better than I could
She
have.
has it. She got it.
She gets it.
That's the good news, ladies and gentlemen. We can't wait to go to the other side and have a wider audience. Once again, this is Atlanta Maju Emmanuel Network, and we are honored to have the Honorable Mother Karua. And with our wonderful panelists, I can't thank you enough, Mercy and David.
Pleasure.
And I'm sure she's going to be here for a while. Have you ever been to Martin Luther King?
No, I haven't, and I've been to Atlanta
Can
before.
you believe that? We got to make sure she
we
That's
need
a
to change
crime.
that.
We
That's
got
a
to change
date.
that.
We
That's
are
a
changing
date.
that.
Yes.
Yes.
We are changing that.
And please, and by the way, as she said, whatever hospitality you got, there is a saying about Southern hospitality. There's
Yeah.
a way Southern people treat people, right?
Yes.
Make sure she doesn't get hungry.
No,
Right.
we cannot allow
Show her the
that.
corners.
Yes.
So far, I'm well looked
So
after.
she'll-
I'm happy.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope to see you on the other side. We want to be respectful of time so that you can join the other audience. And if you are there and watching, please, it is Kenyan American Community Church we are meeting and we are engaging this wonderful leader. God bless you. Stay put. Love your country. Love it to the end. And once again, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.